Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? It's KMB, the Sexy Ninja, and the place to be for a Paper Saber universe, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. We're talking about Deadline, NXT's Deadline 2023 in the bag. Vic Joseph, Booker T on commentary, and talk about one hell of a show. Going up against Collision, and they have, before the show starts, HBK and CM Punk comes out, and he's wearing a Bret Hart hoodie and everything like that, and HBK's like, hey, the hoodie. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Hey, you and Bret made up, me and Triple H made up, so anything is possible. But, you know, and he goes, and just to say, you know, in those days and ages of like, I grew up watching you, can we take a selfie? I want to do that right now. And I think Punk is just having the time of his life. I don't think he's going to end up on NXT, but I think he's creating the buzz just with his name alone, just showing up and getting on a show that same night that the other show that was created for him competing against this pay-per-view, you know, and I gotta say that's fucking mind-blowing to me. It's insane. But we started out with the NXT North American Championship match. Rey Mysterio's on commentary. Dominic Mysterio's going against Dragon Lee. I was right on my pick. You know, if you listen to the picks and predictions from the NXT episode this week, I knew Dragon Lee was going to win. This was supposed to be Wesley's moment, though. That's what makes it a little bit bitter for me. You know, nothing against Dragon Lee either. Nothing against Dragon Lee whatsoever. I feel like, you know, Wesley fought back to get back into the spot, and this was his moment that is now Dragon Lee's moment, and he's with Rey, you know, hugging and stuff like that. And Dominic, there was no Judgment Day, and there's a little snippet behind the scenes thing where Dominic's throwing a fit. He's like, where's the Judgment Day? How come where was the Judgment Day? No one had my back. Where's mommy? And everything like that. So I great match, fun match. I like when we get NXT Dominic, because we can see Dominic do what he needs to do in that ring. And Dragon Lee got the win in celebration. Like I said, this match, this was a fun match. I did really enjoy this. Just bittersweet that this was Wesley's moment, not Dragon Lee's, and nothing against Dragon Lee whatsoever. I understand they had to fill in that slot somehow, you know. So congratulations to Dragon Lee to being our new NXT North American champion. And I will say, with Rey on commentary, him and Booker and Vic, yeah, it's just some great stuff. And then I never seen a dad so happy, so ecstatic that his son lost. He was so happy. He's like, yeah, you son of a bitch. Next up is the Women's Iron Survivor match. Oh, my God. I was wrong on this. I'm glad I'm wrong. I'm happy when I'm wrong. Why, KMB? Because that means it's not all predictable. I was picking Kalani Jordan for the win on this. It wasn't her. It was Blair Davenport. So Tiffany Stratton versus Lash Legend versus Blair Davenport versus Kalani Jordan versus Fallon Henley. These women, I applaud. I was having such a good time, man. And I got to say, I'm not big on time limits in a match. And when I mean that, I meant like with the NXT Heritage Cup, you know, the way that style of matches with the rounds and whatnot, it's fun, but it's not, you know, and this one I was like, all right. And I couldn't remember the last Iron Survivor, you know. I remember, like, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, shit. Like, it gets you. And that's what this match, I forgot how much this match just gets you to a certain point, because that time clock, you go 25 minutes, you know, they got to fall, penalty box, and it's just chaos and just some great spots, and the women shined in this match. My girl Tiffy, I wanted Tiffy to win. I know I said my girl Tiffy, but I like Tiffany Stratton. Ever since, like, she went toe-to-toe with Becky Lynch and showing that she can get, you know, she can fucking wrestle and go. All these women. Lash Legend was one of them, too. I was just like, oh, shit. You know, just a powerful force. Blair Davenport's awesome. Kalani Jordan, really impressed me with this. Like, I think she's very athletic. I think she's very talented. But I was never really like, oh, okay, you know. Even Fallon Henley was another one I was just like, yeah, okay. But in this match, these women went toe-to-toe to show us what they can do in that ring. And Blair Davenport got the win. And she cuts a promo afterwards. And Lyra comes out. And then Cora Jade, my girl Cora Jade, is back in NXT. I was like, oh. Life is good. Life is good. So at New Year's Evil, we will see Blair Davenport face Lyra for the Women's NXT Championship. It's going to be awesome. Mello and Trick's backstage. You know, Trick and Mello, they have so much tension because Mello's going to, in the next match here, Carmelo Hayes is going to go against Lexis King. And he did what I thought he did. I thought he was going to do. I was right on this match. Carmelo Hayes for the win. This was a fun match. Lexis King, though, does cut a promo afterwards. I was saying that he was going to push a button and something was going to play on the screen. But no, he tells us like, hey, you know, I want to let everyone know, you know, that was one hell of a match. But I didn't attack Trick. So keeping that out there, keeping the mystery out there. And Carmelo Hayes like, hey, shut the fuck up, you know. So I was like, okay. So I was half right on what Lexis King was gonna do after the match. We got Cora Jade backstage. She's back, baby. She wants one thing. She wants that championship. You know, get back in it. And next up was the men's Iron Survivor match. Oh my God, God damn, I already knew Trick Williams was going to win. That's who I picked. So I was right on this one. But I didn't know that it was going to be so late in the game and when he gets all those pins. I was like, holy shit. I mean, you talk about back and forth dodges going into that penalty box like crazy. Then here comes fucking Braun Breaker and just gets 3 pins off the bat. And it's just like, holy shit. And Trick is just not. And I'm like, oh, I'm looking at the time. I'm like, oh my God, there's like a minute left. How the hell is Trick going to do this? He has no points. And he does it. I'm just like, oh my fucking God. Like when Trick wins and gets that final pin for the 4th point, I was like, holy shit, man. This was such a good match. I believed in Trick Williams and he whooped those tricks. And I just saw in my notes here, I forgot in the other part, great spot in the women's is when Metaphor comes out to try to block the penalty box, you know. Fallon Henley goes through a table. Tiffany Stratton jumps off. I mean, chaos in that match and Metaphor. But good, such good stuff, man. Just such good stuff. I can't say more. Like, these 2 matches were the shit. This whole pay-per-view was fucking awesome, man. I was on the edge of my seat. My wife's like, calm down. I was like, oh, you know. Like, when I get a new toy, I'm like, yeah, you know. Lots of cool stuff, man. Everyone shined really well. But Trick Williams got that win. He will get a title opportunity at New Year's Evil against the main event. We'll get there soon, okay? We go now to the steel cage match. I was wrong. I picked Roxanne Perez to win. This feud is not over. Out of nowhere, Izzy Dane came out and caused Roxanne to lose the match to Kiana James. And I was a bit confused when they're like, you can't escape the cage, you know, that's not how you win. And I was like, wait, what? When did this rule go into effect? Am I crazy? Like, hasn't like, if escaping the cage, you win. That, you know, you're in there with that the other person, your enemy, and it's like you either escape or it's either pinfall or submission. When did that rule change? You know, I'm just wondering. Like, as a hardcore wrestling fan, even I got confused by that with the commentary saying if you escape the cage, you do not win. I was like, oh, the whole, you know, so is this I was just confused. Maybe I heard it before, maybe I'm questioning it. I questioned it then, but I just got confused, but, you know, whatever. I'm an old man. But fun match. Kiana James gets the win. Then this feud is not over. Now we just entered in Izzy Dane into this. And we had a backstage with Josh Briggs. You know, they get into it. with Metaphor and his homies. They all go into Fallon and everything, so it sets up a big match for them this Tuesday on NXT. Now we're in the main event. NXT Championship on the line. Baron Corbin versus Ilya Dragunov with those beautiful red eyes. The pain, you could tell. Not my favorite Ilya Dragunov match. It was a good match. I think it's just because after such a great men's Iron Survivor and such a great women's Iron Survivor, I was like, my expectations went high for everybody. You know, even Carmelo Hayes and Alexis King was okay. Roxanne Perez and Kiana James was fun. Dominic and Dragon Lee was fun. But I got to say the men's Iron Survivor and the women's Iron Survivor were my two top matches of this show. So this match, though, like I said, not my favorite Ilya Dragunov match, but he got the job done. They beat the shit out of each other, and that's what we wanted here. That's what we wanted here, and Ilya Dragunov got the win, and now he, after he gets up and he's won. Trick Williams comes out. Trick! Whoop, that Trick comes out. And Melo slowly behind him was like, is he going to attack Trick? What's going on? And no, and that's the way we end the show. I was like, oh. All right. Now I can't wait for this Tuesday. This Tuesday is going to be crazy, y'all. It's going to be crazy. But there we go. Deadline 2023 in the bag. Vic Joseph, Booker T on commentary. I give this show, I give it a 5 just for both Iron Survivor matches. But overall, I give it a 4 out of 5. But this was a damn good show. Not taking anything away from anybody. This was a damn good show, and now we're moving the needle forward, and Punk there and everything like that. It's good times all around, man. And I can't wait for this Tuesday. So, all right, y'all. Tell me what you thought of the show. Drop those comments below. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe. Share with your grandma. Share with your grandpa. Share with the bum down at Walmart. I am K&B, the Sexy Ninja. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/New World Podcast. Get yourself that sweet nWp logo created by Penta X. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life, brother. Almost shat myself.
We're tied at 3. There's 10 seconds. There's 10 seconds, Book.